All right. We are live on the Paul James Show on a Thursday night. I am Paul James. No, I'm not. I'm Ben Reeve. Paul's having a rest this evening. He's worked himself too hard with a 4.5 hour post-game live show, followed by a match reaction immediately afterwards, which he posted the day after, and then backed it up the following night with Monday night's version of the Paul James Show. So we've given him a rest. We've told him to take it easy, to get an early night, put your pajamas on, Paul, put your Ninja Turtle pajamas on, have a rest, spend some time with the family, Paul. It's important, and recharge because Geelong has a big September ahead of us coming up. And he will be back. He'll be back on Monday. So you've got me for tonight. But welcome everyone. Welcome everyone in the chat. I can see a few people in there. I can see Mark Shadu. Hello, Mark and Shadu. Jackie's there. Roaming Craig, probably not going to be happy it's me roaming, but I love you anyway. Welcome, roaming. And there's Paul trying to enjoy his night, not listen to Ben. There you go. Thank you, Paul. Welcome, everyone, to the show. As I said, now, it's going to be a little bit different tonight, and Paul doesn't even know this. Paul doesn't know this, but I'm actually going to open it up to anyone who wants to come on. So I'm going to drop the guest link. Now, you don't have to come on. We'll go through the normal show like we normally do, but if you want to come on and have a chat about at any point in the show, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so we'll go through the normal thing. We'll go through selection. We'll preview the game. We'll have a look at the other games for the rest of the round in round 24. Player spotlight, Jed Bews. We'll come back to that. Q&A section, and there will be no game of the show because unless you want to talk about Mario 3 or something like that, because I got no idea, people. Feel free to talk about games in the chat, but there will be no game of the show tonight as far as I'm concerned. All the normal stuff, it would be really helpful if you could hit that like button right off the top from the beginning. Hit that like button. If you're somehow not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We would love it. But engage in the chat tonight, people. Let us know how shit I'm going or how pleased you are that you're getting a break finally from Paul. Oh, my goodness me. It's been long overdue as far as I'm concerned. And congratulations, too, I should say, to Horatio for winning the pizza on the 4.5 hour episode of Post Game Live or Post Poll Live, whatever it was, last week. So congratulations to Horatio for that. All right, I am going to drop the link to the chat. So you are welcome to come on. I'm seeing a bit of, he's in his Ninja Turtle PJs. Yes, he's definitely in his PJs. I can confirm he's in the PJs. Do you know what we should do, people? And I don't know how Paul would feel about this because I'm sure he'd be happy to get rid of it, but we should have a prize for the end of the year. Maybe the Hoopies Awards night. We should give away that blue Ninja Turtle T-shirt that Paul occasionally puts on. We should make that a prize. So if that's something you might be interested, let me know. Maybe we can work that into our Hoopies night, which I'll talk a little bit more about later on as well. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's get on with the show. Let's not muck around too much. You will have noticed, Paul, if you are watching, that I did start the show on time. You got to respect your viewers, Paul. You start the show on time. You don't change the time. People expect you. So that's what I did tonight. All right, so a couple of news stories to start the week off this week. So Geelong has accepted the 1-game ban offered to Shannon Neale. Yeah, that's bullshit. That is absolutely bullshit. If you're going to give Shannon Neale a rest, that's fine. Clearly, that was probably their thinking. He hasn't had a rest all year. We haven't looked at a forward duo other than Jezza and Shannon Neale all year round. None of them have missed a game. So maybe that was the thinking. I just don't like the fact that they didn't back in Shannon Neale, challenge it, give him a rest, beat it, and then give him a rest anyway, just to tell the AFL to go get stuffed. So, yeah, Shannon has a week off, unfortunately, for him, but he'll be watching on the sidelines and be fresh, ready to go for the first week in the finals. In a qualifying final, you would think. I can't see us dropping to 7th. I know it's a possibility, but it's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. Ollie Dempsey was named in the under 22. I think Connor O'Sullivan wasn't eligible. I believe that was the situation, but I'm happy to be proven wrong on that. If that is the fact that he wasn't picked, he's very hard done by. He must be eligible for that. I know Max Holmes wasn't eligible, but you'd think Connor O'Sullivan has to be eligible. Anyway, clearly there's much, much better players out there, even though he's one of the chances for the rising star. What can you do? Ollie Dempsey's second time in a row. So well done, Ollie, on that one. The big story of the week, though, and I'm not going to go on about it too long. I'm going to say give my opinion on it, but then I'm going to move on from it. The Isaac Rankin was originally offered a 5-game suspension. Adelaide Crows argued there was some medical things going on, and maybe the AFL should reduce that to 4 games and give him a chance, a very, very small chance of playing in the grand final if Adelaide have to get there the long way. So that's the situation at the moment. Mental health's been thrown around. Isaac Rankin's mental health potentially. I don't know all the details on that. I don't want to speculate too much other than to say other people's mental health gets affected when you make homophobic slurs as well, mate. So, be better. Anyway, moving on from that. We've talked enough about that this week. We're here to talk about the Cats smashing the Tigers on the weekend. Quick couple more news stories. Hayley Peck won the Geelong VFLW Best and Fairest. So congratulations to Hayley. I know Hayley's a huge viewer of the show. No, I don't think Hayley even knows about us, but hello, Hayley, or anyone who knows Hayley. We gave you a shout out. There you go. Richmond is considering selling a home game to play at the SCG. Oh, how far they've fallen. Isn't it great? The powerhouse that is the Richmond Football Club is now selling games interstate. I should have saved that for the Oppo trolling section. That is quite good. So, yeah, that's good, Richmond. Well done on that one. Make a little bit of money. And the last little bit, it's not a news story, but Patrick Dangerfield was on Unfiltered, the Hamish McLaughlin show last night. I don't know if anyone caught that one, but that was terrific. I absolutely loved what Danger had to say. Did at times come off as a little bit confident in his own abilities, but I think he was somewhat measured in that as well. I just felt like he was just teetering on the edge of look at me. But no, he did very well. He speaks fantastic. And he said something at the end. I think Hamish might have asked him, what's the one thing that's someone said to you that stayed with you, or something around in those words over your journey. And it was something along the lines of fuck, don't win. And that was from his old coach, Neil Craig at Adelaide, who was basically saying, you make a mistake and you scream an obscenity. It's not actually going to change the result. You just get on with the game and focus on the next play, because there's 1,000 players in the game and you can't be just worrying about one and letting that affect your performance for the rest of the day or night. And that just got me thinking about Sam De Koning. And good on Sam De Koning for playing really well on the weekend. But Sam is notorious for that. Gets beaten in a contest and the head goes down and he buries himself. No, really, really pleased with the way Sam went. But that was a good doco. So it's on Channel 7 on Freeview. I should be able to watch that one on replay if you want to check that one out. That should be pretty good. Hello to Amy. Hello to Kiri. Very good interview. I agree. Mighty Sparlock. Hello to you. I just said hello to you earlier anyway. And everybody else in the chat that I may have missed. Thank you for joining us on a Thursday night. All right. Let's get on to the good stuff, though. Let's get on to the juicy stuff of the night. The selections. And in justice for Jed. Jed Bews is back, baby. Yes, sirree. First time since round 12 that we've got to see Jed. He did miss half the season with a unfortunate kitchen incident. Cut his hand with a knife or something like that. I don't know if it was a knife or a apple peeler or vegetable peeler or I don't know, something in the sink anyway. But he's back, baby. He's back. I reckon Jed's going to play finals. I reckon I know Shannon Neal, they've created a vacancy and all that sort of stuff, but I still got a feeling the Jed story's not done. So I'm not calling this a farewell game for Jed. I'm definitely not saying it's a reward for 10 or 12 or 13 years of service to the footy club. I'm saying this is he's firmly in the Geelong Cats plans. Was an emergency last week, held over in the VFL game in Sydney. Didn't play, but gets his chance this week. And geez, I hope he has a good crack at it. I hope he does. I think it's going to be great. Jed, as I said earlier, is the player in spotlight. So we'll come back to Jed a bit later on and we're going to have a good chat about him. Drop any questions you have in the chat, people, because I'll get to them shortly. I'll just go through some of the main beats in the show, and then I'll come back around, or we'll save some extra questions for the end as well. All right, so out, as we said, Shannon Neer with that suspension, which I absolutely disagree with. Anyway, what can you do? On the interchange bench for the Catters, it's Oisin Mullen, Mark O'Connor, Jack Bews. Yes, Jack Bews, Jed Bews, and Jack Martin. Out of those 5, one of them will be the sub, and it better not be Jed. I'm telling you now, Chris, or Kingy, or Kelly, or whoever else, Riles, whoever else is in the selection committee. If Mac, I'm looking at you, Mac. If you're putting Jed as the sub, that's an absolute outrage. Don't do it. There's a bloke called Jack Martin that's the super sub. Put him on give him the vest. I don't know if there's still a vest, but make Jack Martin the sub. Bring him on after halftime. Let him kick 4 goals in 4 minutes again. That'll be fantastic. But no, Jed plays the whole game. Start Jed on the bench. That's fine. But we want Jed out there. That's my pick anyway. I can't see it being Jack Bews again. Mark O'Connor has played very well against Isaac Heaney last week, so you're not going to punish him. He probably doesn't need it either. And Oisin Mullen, he's a young fella. He doesn't need it. I think it's out of Jed or Jack Martin, but it better not be Jed. It better not be Jed. The emergencies for the Cats, as I have a quick drink of my coffee. The emergencies for the Catters are Mitch Nevitt, Jai Clark, and Ted Closey. All 3 were terrific in the VFL on the weekend. Absolutely fantastic, and probably deserve a game. It's interesting that we haven't made a whole lot of changes, at least at this point in time. We haven't anyway. If there is to be a late in, it'll be probably not a like-for-like replacement. I wouldn't have thought it'd be who's most likely to get a game in September. And I feel like it's probably Mitch Nevitt. I just don't see Jai and Ted being ready at this point of their career. I feel like they need another season. Hopefully one more preseason's enough. So it's asking a lot if they need 2 more, especially, well, Ted coming from where he's come from a long way back. Jai's kind of the golden child because he's a high draft pick and he'll get every chance under the sun. But Ted really needs to make a good crack of it next year. If he hangs around at the club, I hope he does. I hope all 3 of them do. But for me, Mitch Nevitt is probably the one that's most likely to get a game if there's a laid out. But who knows? Maybe there's more than one laid out. Maybe there's no laid outs. I'd be very, very surprised, though, if we went into this game against Richmond with just one change. It's a perfect opportunity to freshen up. You'd imagine one of the older boys will get subbed out for tactical reasons, if that is an option that's available to us. I hope that it is. We'll wait and see what happens with that. Milestone man, Tom Atkins. Congratulations, Tom. We absolutely adore you at the Hoops crew, and I'm sure everyone in the chat and in the Geelong fan community absolutely loves him as well. So 150 games. It might not seem like a lot when you're seeing blokes play 250, 300, whatever, and we're making a big deal about that. But the reality is there's not many AFL footballers that play 150 games of footy. There really isn't. So it's an amazing achievement. Can you imagine being a young fella on the list at the moment that hasn't played a game and telling them that, they just want to play one game? Tom Atkins has played 150 after being in the VFL for a couple of years. I will answer this question now, Flash. Thank you for that. Question for Ben. Is Jed Bews the best 86 pick in the draft of all time? Where was Lawson Humphreys picked? Slightly ahead. He's up there, Flash. He's definitely up there. I want to say more about Jed, but I'm going to hold it because we're going to spotlight on Jed a little bit later on. But thanks for that question. Absolute lots of love for the axe. Show your axes in the chat. Yep. Chair off the axe. Very good. 150 games should be acknowledged, says Kiri, considering Atkins' pathway to his AFL career. Outstanding. I remember seeing him in the VFL. Not in the VFL. Preseason game. The year that he actually burst onto the scene. I was like, who's this young fellow? I've never really noticed him before. And he looked really good. He's like completely, he put on some muscle clearly in that those years in the VFL. Must have had a great preseason, and he just came in and looked pretty good, looked dangerous around the ball, followed the pack in the forward line, and then just got games and really never looked back after that. So has he been dropped? I don't think Tom Atkins has been dropped. I could be wrong on that one. He's probably missed from injury. Well, he clearly has because he hasn't played 150 games straight, but a terrific career so far, and you'd imagine he's probably got another couple to go, another couple of seasons at least to go. So let's cheer him on. Hopefully he gets 200 or more on the rest of his career. All right. So some injuries. I don't want to go on about too long because I keep talking about it and it breaks my heart. But Toby Conway, we know how that's his story. He hasn't played since halfway through last year. We'll give him every opportunity. He's a long-term prospect. I wish it wasn't a long-term prospect. I think not that he's ready to dominate AFL at this stage, but we wanted to see 15, 16 games out of him this year. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. And depending on what happens in the off-season, he might be behind a Rowan Marshall or even a resurgent Reece Stanley if Reece spends some time in his back to tank and the Stanley farm, recuperating in the off-season, just comes back fully recharged, ready to take on another season. Put your price up, Reece. You're an absolute star. You should be in the NAS conversation. Reece, come on, give Reece $2 million a year. He's an absolute gun. And only because we love him so much, but he's a star. So Toby Conway, but apparently that's it. There's no one else. There's absolutely no one else injured. So they're all fit and firing. It's just that we haven't really got much VFL action or no official games, at least anyway. There's some scratch match stuff coming, but no official games. So it's going to be tough. Cam Guthrie and Mitch Duncan and Jake Collar-Jasny are notable absentees. They did play VFL on the weekend. Ollie Henry was probably the most unlucky of the VFL cats to not get a game this week with Neil out. I think a lot of us thought maybe it's not a like for like, but we thought maybe he comes in and we see what that forward line dynamic looks like, but that wasn't meant to be. So he's he can't come in because he's not an emergency, which is interesting, but we'll see what happens with Ollie Henry. He's just really fallen off, hasn't he? Unfortunately. George Stevens is the other, and I guess if you want to stretch it out to Ollie Wiltshire, they've both played a couple of games. George, to me, seems miles in front of Wiltshire at this point. I hope Wiltshire gets back next year if he's still with us. But you think George is going to play a lot of footy next year for sure. So I think George is probably accepting the fact that no finals footy, especially if you're not in the emergencies at this point in time, and Shannon Neal to come back as well. And there's a couple of senior boys with some finals footy experience in Guthrie, Duncan, and Collar. You'd think it might be hard to find a spot for him. For the opposition, for the Richmond Tigers, ins are Josh Gibcus, first game in 527 days, and Luke Traynor. The outs, Nick Floston with a fractured ankle, and Steely Green, brother of Steely Dan, apparently. No. Umpires, I don't even know half these umpires. I don't know any of these umpires. Lee Hassan, Cameron Dorr, Alini T, and Martin Roger the Dodger. There you go. That's exciting. I don't know who the goal umpires are, but we don't care about umpires, so who cares? All right. Let's have a look at the game on the weekend. Who have we got? So, and I'm not sharing my screen. I'm not as the one thing I'll say nice about Paul. One thing I'll say good. He's good at handling all the different elements that are going on. I am completely lost. So feel free to just to listen or not. If you're still with us, that's a good thing. But yeah, I don't like the retirements either, Sparlock. I'm not happy about it. It makes me sad. All right, so I'm going to just go through who we got this week. So, the Cats are playing at the MCG in 1 day and 19 hours' time. How are we going here? All right, I'm with it. All right. We should be fine against Richmond. It's an understatement of the century. We should be fine. You would be shocked and probably wouldn't be turning up in September if we lost this one. I think you'd give up. But they are trying to give away some tickets to this game, by the way. So I think I read somewhere that they were giving away a 2-ticket bundle for $25. And it's like a membership for one game. And apparently you get access to finals tickets, weeks 1 to 3. God, we're getting desperate. Does that count as a membership? Surely not. Can't be counting that as a soon. We'll be having 1 million members before too long if we keep doing all this kind of stuff. Nah. Anyway, so that's at 4:15 on Saturday. That game. I won't be going. I'll be watching it at home. Got some family stuff I've got to prioritize, like picking up and dropping off kids at work and various other places. But I will be doing post-game live right on 7 p.m., regardless of whether the Cats have sung the song yet. So join me at 7 o'clock or whenever you can. We'll have some fun and we'll get some guests on, and that'll be lots of laughs, as it always is. As I said before, feel free to join me in the chat if you want to. I'll drop the link again in a sec. I'll just get that ready going now. Yep. So feel free, if you want to have a chat about anything tonight, jump on. I think we'll see how many we can get on tonight. It's not going to be a massive show, probably just a similar length of show, about an hour like we normally do. Now, in terms of recent form with the Catters, we're flying. Yeah, the fixture's been pretty soft, but 11 wins from 13 games. Can't really complain about that, can you? Richmond, 2 wins from their last 13 games. So they're probably at opposite ends. I mean, probably only West Coast are going worse. North look good at times, just can't finish games off. So, yeah, Richmond really, really struggling. There's an absolute gulf between the two teams. The last time we played Richmond was an absolute smashing as well. We had an 8-goal second quarter. Jezza kicked 4 goals, but he missed 5 as well. He could have had an absolute day out. So if he kicks 8 goals, 1 this week, is that conversation back on again about the 100 goals? Don't know. Interestingly, though, this is Tom Atkins' last game in the home and away, and he's currently leading the tackle. There's no award. It's the Tom Atkins Award, but he's currently leading the Tom Atkins Award over Matt Rowell. He needs a big game, but last time around against Richmond, he had 17 tackles. Tom, we need another 17 tackles from you, mate. We need you to lock this one, lock it away, because Matty Rowell's got a couple of games up his sleeve. So come on, mate. Lift, I say. So the Catters and the Tigers have played 204 times previously. I feel like we did this a couple of weeks ago. Geelong has won 53% of these games. The biggest home and away crowd ever was 70,068 bums on seats in 1980. We've played 3 grand finals together in 2020, 1967 and 1931, going backwards there. 3 preliminary finals, 2019, 1995 and 1933, and 5 semi-finals in 1980, 69, 34, 31 and 21, and 1 qualifying final, which we don't talk about on the Paul James Show in 2017. That wasn't a fun one. All right. Oppo Trolls time. Oppo Troll time. I like this. Is my new favorite. It's only this section or segment only came in late in the piece, but I do like this little one. Richmond are currently sitting 17th position on the ladder with 5 wins in 2025. They have only won 7 wins. Only had 7 wins in the last 2 seasons combined. This is in no particular order, people, but just as the thoughts were coming to my head, Brad Elton's left the football club and then won 3 premierships at the Cats. Oh, he was great. You thought Nasai was a messiah. Brad Elton's was pretty close to that at Richmond as well. They have won 8 wooden spoons in their storied history. At one point, between 1927 and 1929, they lost 3 grand finals consecutively. So I know we were bad in the 90s. Well, not bad. We had some heartbreak in the 90s. Good team, heartbreak. But they lost all their grand finals to Collingwood. So no wonder they hate Collingwood. If anyone who's still alive from 1927, how you going? Hope you're enjoying this thing called the internet. They endured a 13-game losing streak to Geelong recently between 2007 and 2017, which was broken by a certain qualifying final loss that we don't talk about on the Paul James Show. Their biggest loss to Geelong ever was 157 points in 2007 on, I think it was Logie's night. I'm pretty sure it was. A long time ago now, but that was a great game. I could talk about that. I could do a show just talking about that game, but I won't. Their worst losing streak to all teams is 15 games. Very recently too, but 2004 to 2005, absolutely horrible they were. Their lowest score ever was 8 points versus St Kilda in 1961. And their highest score conceded, same game against Geelong in 2007. It was 222 points. An absolute smashing there that was. So, yeah, there's a bit of fun Oppo Richmond trolling for you. The Ben rules are back. Yes, Roaming, the Ben rules are back. We don't talk about 2020 either, Roaming. We definitely don't. Tom Atkins, Jackie says, may kill a couple of those baby tigers if he tackles that many times, 18 times. And how good is Otto? I agree. Pill, they used to call him. They used to call him the Pill. Gary Ablett loved Richmond, says Jackie as well. Sorry, Jackie, I'm highlighting. You're going crazy in the chat. Thank you, Jackie. Gary Ablett loved Richmond, especially Scotty Turner. Absolutely torched Richmond. Absolutely torched them. Do you agree with us being premiership favourite on sports bets, says Shadu? Shadu? I'm getting nervous. I'm getting really nervous about all this talk about Geelong being premiership favourites all of a sudden. I don't like it. I don't like it. I prefer to be under the radar, hidden away. Don't talk about us. We just want to go about our little business, and we'll bob up on the last day in September. Then you can talk about it. But for now, you just worry about all the other teams, and we'll just keep doing our little thing. I think it's one of those seasons. There's 6 or 7 teams that can win it, so I don't think we're especially ahead of anyone else. I think we've given ourselves a red hot good chance at it anyway. So with the position that we've found ourselves in, but it can all fall apart pretty quickly in the first week of finals. So. They've done a terrific job in 23, 24 weeks of footy to get to this point. If they can get the job done against Richmond, they're set up beautifully. And, just got to execute in that first week of September and set yourself up for a prelim. And it's coin flip time pretty much at that point. Sudden death, winner takes all. Best team wins on the day, as it should be, as it always is. Free George Stevens. Brendan says, I don't think George is playing again this year, Brendan, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's happening anymore. Yes, it's like all those shows started talking about. Stop talking about Geelong. I started this show years ago now, or this channel, because I was frustrated that they never talked about Geelong. I don't like them when they talk about Geelong in mainstream media or radio or whatever, but just come and talk about Geelong here, but I don't like it when the neutrals or the Oppo fans talk about us. It worries me. Yes, put the lid back on, says Brendan. Put the lid back on. What? Pivotonian says he got the Cats at $21 earlier in the year. $100 at 100. Okay, a little bit confused, but yeah. Anyway, stop talking about the Cats being premiership favourites. Let's put the lid back on. Here's me telling you to put the lid back on. I'm the last guy that puts the lid on. I think we know that by now. I'm talking about being in the grand final queue already. All right. So, that's that. All right. So, some stories for this game. I sort of touched on it before, but Jezza is a chance to play, to still get his 100 goals. Could it happen? 21 goals away. Look, it's a possibility if he has an absolute day out against Richmond. And by that, I mean 8 goals or more. Anything less than that, no. Stop talking about it. It's not going to happen. It's too hard, especially in finals when it's just locked down. The scores are traditionally lower. We're not going to be scoring 150 points. Well, we could, but it's probably unlikely. It's not really the way footy's played in September. So I'd imagine, he needs to get into that sort of high 80s range, and then potentially 3 finals after that. If he's playing 4 finals, that means we probably haven't gone that well. So realistically, he's got to kick those goals after the Richmond game. He's got to kick them in 3 games, which is going to be tough, and very likely that it could be he's in the 90s on grand final day if we make it that far. Within reach. and that'll be the last thing on his mind. We know that for sure, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility. I also said earlier that it's the first time all season that we don't have Jezza and Shannon Neal in the same lineup this year. So first time in a while we haven't had both of those. Even you got to go back even, I don't know when last year. When did Shannon Neal miss a game last year? I can't remember. I mean, late in the season, did he miss much footy? I can't remember if he did. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that all works, because it's a possibility. I always thought this year, well, what would happen if one of them went down? Who's going to step up? Because there wasn't really anyone obvious. To me, there's, Blitz Sarves is a possibility. Jack Henry's done it before, especially against Richmond. You remember that, Richmond? You remember that? No, it was good, wasn't it? In 2022, took that mark, kicked that goal, boom, boom, boom. That was pretty nice. The game breakers for the Cats, I think Tom Atkins is going to absolutely destroy some bodies this weekend. So he's not going to have 30 touches. We might, but unlikely. But I think he's ready to lay some hurt. It's a signature game for Tom Atkins. It's his 150th. We're here to see Tom. He's normally the guy that doesn't like the attention, but I think he's embracing it this week. I think he is. He did a little bit of media with the club. Even his wife's been posting stuff on Insta. So he's getting around it. Allow yourself to enjoy the love for once, Tom. We want to see you enjoy it just a little bit. I think Tom Atkins will have a big game, very, very big game. And if he kicks a goal, how good would that be? Max Holmes is another one, probably a little bit quieter. Maybe you don't agree with me. I know he's in the best players last weekend, but I didn't think he was with the eye test, just me personally. I think he's ready to have a big one too, especially against Richmond. And Tyson Stengel could be another one to have a big game. He's just about to ignite. We need to get Stengel T-shirts that say ignite. He's ready to pop. He could be the Gary Ayres medalist in September. You just wait and see. I'm going to bring Kiri in, and Kiri, you can join us for the next little bit of the conversation. Good evening or good morning wherever you are.
Good afternoon from Dubrovnik, Croatia, Ben. How are you, mate?
Beautiful. And how do you spell Dubrovnik for everyone? Do you have any idea? I think I could have a crack at it, but I won't. I'll give you a pass on that one. Who do you reckon? We just talked about the game breakers. I want to ask you specifically about Tyson Stengel.
Yep.
And you don't have to agree with me, and I know you don't always agree with me, but do you feel he's got it in him just to have a big September, or how do you see his game developing over the last few weeks?
Yeah, well, look, obviously he's had a rough patch the last couple of weeks. A bit of a rough season, particularly beginning of the year, ever since Dangerfield got thrown into the forward line.
Yep.
His role just significantly reduced. You've seen players like Ollie Henry all of a sudden just falls out of favour with the team. Brad Close, quiet, but he's managed to turn it around. Sean Manor, he's doing Sean Manor things, still very productive in the forward line and around the ball as well. But with Tyson Stengel, I think he's slowly starting to turn it around a bit. What was that first half against the Swans? I think it was just I think he gave away just a soft 50-metre penalty, but then he just turned it around. I think he kicked three goals won. And you could just see the joy in his face ever since he kicked that from the boundary line and given that to the Sydney crowd as well. So to answer your question, Ben, I am backing Tyson Stengel for a big September as well. I think he's starting to get the right form at the right time.
Yeah, it's all speculative, this kind of stuff, but I just feel in my heart of hearts that he's about to explode, and if he does, there's some silverware within reach, because it's the missing thing we've had. We just haven't had all Australian Tyson Stengel for a little while now.
Yeah.
And if we can get that back, there's no stopping this football club. There is no stopping us.
Absolutely.
He's so close, mate. He is so close. He's just got to adjust his little target a little bit. And he will turn those 1-goal 3 games into 3-goal 1 games, and the whole forward line will be absolutely humming. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Because Shannon Neal's an absolute monster now. Like, who's this Shannon Neal bloke? Everyone's starting to wake up to Shannon Neal. Jez is like, I'm not done. And yeah, anyway, we could just wax and about all the players if we wanted to. Is there any other Cats players before we move on to move on from the game breakers bit? Anyone that I mean, for me, it's Tyson Stengel who's going to have a massive September. But is there anyone from you that you just laying in bed at night in Dubrovnik thinking, oh, I reckon this bloke's going to explode. I reckon he's about to have the best final series ever. Is there someone for you that you're thinking about or you're hoping really catches fire? Oh, I've lost him. All right. Hang on. I think he's coming back. Hey, we got you again.
All right, we back. Yeah.
Did you want me to ask that question again? Because I built it up.
I got it. You wanted to ask me about someone having a breakout season in September,
Yes.
who that could be. Yeah,
Yes.
I could give that to you. This is someone who hasn't been at the club for a while, and you probably know who I'm talking about as well. I think it's the Mr. X Factor and Jack Barton. I think he's primed to have an absolute. I think he's going to tear it up in come September time. We saw what he did. He kicked 4 goals in the space of 5 minutes against Port Adelaide off the bench. You need these type of players in the finals. You know, in that prelim last year, you saw players like Cam Rayner, like Kai Lohman, all those blokes. Look, no disrespect to them, but they're not like absolute superstars. But you need those players to lift. And I could see Jack Martin in the space of 5 to 10 minutes just tearing the game apart. Like it's just his body. That's just what's held him back. When he was at Carlton, when he was at the Gold Coast Suns, just touch wood. He's healthy. He pulls up well. I think he becomes the sub against Richmond this week.
Yep.
I think Jack Martin's prime for a big September, and all the Carlton fans are going to say, "Oh, gee, this is another one we let go," like Zach Tui.
Oh, Carlton. Sorry, Carlton. You let him go. He could. Oh, it's just a shame we can't play Carlton in the finals. I picked Carlton to finish top of the ladder. What was I thinking, mate?
I did. I said Carlton top. I said Carlton top 2. So
Jackie reckons is another good one. And was pretty good in September last year. Sean Manor is going to set the finals alight. Brendan was saying Reece Stanley before as well. I don't know about setting fire. I don't know about catching fire, but Reece Stanley could be.
He'll have his moments. He'll have his moments. Like he'll do really well against your McInerney's, your Darcy Forts, your Darcy Cameron, all because he plays. I said this in the post game live. He plays really well against the All Australian ruckman, but when it comes to the B grade rucks,
what is the B grade ruck?
God bless Reece Stanley, but he'll definitely have his moments come September time.
Yep, definitely. Sean Manners a definite one. Shannon Neal could be dangerous. I don't know which way to go on Shannon Neal. He could absolutely fade, or he could explode. We don't know. I still feel like he's a year or two away from being that really good player, but it's possible. It's possible, and not a game breaker. We've gone off on tangent a little bit, but I've said this before on Post Game Live a few times now. But the absolute romantic in me wants Cam Guthrie to do it one more time, and it's not going to happen. I accept the fact that it won't happen. I accept it now. He's not even an emergency. He played half a game on a suburban ground last weekend. Just not going to happen. But please let me believe for one moment that it's a possibility. He's got Chris Scott as his coach, who has fair sway in the selection room. And Chris loves him, so it's a possibility for that reason. But most of us are probably thinking, nah, it's done. A new theory I've got, Kiri. I don't think we've seen the end of Cam Guthrie. I know it seems crazy, but I think he'll play next year. I think they're going to give him one more chance. And I think he's playing like not to play finals, but because he wants to be a part of this football club for another year.
Is that for you just answered that. You think for Geelong as well? Because I'm thinking the exact opposite with Mitch Duncan. I think he'll go on for another year. but probably to a club like West Coast.
Yep.
He's got family in Perth still. Could take on a coaching role as well. And West Coast needs some veteran. I think they need some veteran leadership in that club as well. And I think Mitch Duncan will be a valuable asset in that team. With Cam Guthrie, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. I think
You don't have to
his
respectfully.
body's just let him down. Like, how many games has he played since his toe injury in 2023? Probably
5 or
like
6. Yeah, 5 or
three,
6.
four.
Yeah, something
Like,
like that.
it's a shame. Like, great player, Rolls Royce in the midfield, but yeah, I don't know. I did watch Paul's show one time, thinking if Cam Guthrie can get his body right, like you said, maybe keep him for depth, but we need to clear up some cap space if we want to look for an inside bull come summertime as well. Like your James Warple, your Zach Butters, Harley Reid. I don't think we'll
Nah.
pay overs for him. We're not a club like that. Essendon, St Kilda, go for it. But yeah,
Can you
I don't know.
imagine
Yeah,
winning the premiership this year? Let's just allow ourselves to just imagine for a moment, because the lid's off again, because it's on again, it's off again all the time. If we win the premiership and we throw open the doors for a Zach Butters or a Harley Reid or someone of that ilk, can you imagine the salt?
yeah.
Oppo
Oh
salt.
man.
Oh my God.
But
How
break the
cool
ins.
would
Or,
it be?
imagine if Nasai Wagamali Miller didn't decide to re-sign for St Kilda. We
Oh,
decide, hey, you want to come to Cadidia Park? That would break the
well,
internet, man.
I don't know. You might force a trade. You might something might
Oh,
happen. You never know. You never know. It's only a 2-year contract. It's a bit like the Matty Rowell one, just 2 years, because they've all been told.
true.
They've been told.
He's a young lad. Yeah.
They've said, boys, here's the line. Get in the queue. Just wait your turn. It's
Yes.
Butters first, then Rowell, then Nasai. You just got to wait your turn. We can't get
That's
everyone all
it.
at once. Wait your turn. Hashtag wait your turn. Welcome to everyone else who's joined the chat late. G'day, Gary and Kiri. I can see you there as well. Mitch will retire and stay in Victoria, says Kiri. Hopefully, Geelong can give him a job as a specialist coach. I am going to say, I'm not going to disagree with you, Kiri, strongly, but I'm going to agree more with Kiri that I think he'll probably go to West Coast. I actually think he'll be in a playing coaching role. I don't think he'll step straight into coaching, because I don't think he's really had any exposure to it other than what he's seen. So,
Don't think he has. Because didn't Sam Mitchell, he went to West Coast for 1 year. He played as a player. Then he went into the coaching. They won the flag in 2018. So I reckon he'll play on 1 more year and go into the coaching from there, because that's what Sam Mitchell did
exactly.
at the end. So Luke Hodge went to Brisbane. Duncan could go even for another couple of years as well. Get that leadership, get that experience that the young lads could get from West Coast over there. But yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, a couple of other Geelong players went a few more years, like your Kellys and your Chapmans and your Stevie Jays and Josh Hunts. I'm not sure if they all had 2 years, but a few of them at least had more than one. So it's doable. But I think we've all accepted that he's moving on. And as I said on post game live when Paul was hosting on the weekend, I was sitting next to Demi Duncan and the kids and his best mate Billy Smets.
Billy Spence.
It was.
I saw the thing on Instagram. That looked good.
We were right there, just laughing along with him for about 20 minutes before that happened, because Billy just kept yelling out to him from the boundary line, "Take him to the cage!" Like, he kept saying it over, and Duncan's like, "Shut the fuck up, mate! Shut up!" He just, while he's playing, it was like, "What is this? Is this a VFL? Is this professional football? This is crazy." And the kids are like, "Oh, they're running around having a good old time," and then it happened, and it was like, oh, I can't believe he's dobbed it from 52 meters or whatever it was, and Billy's jumped the fence. Here we go. Anyway, I've talked about it on the other show. I won't go over that again. Let's keep the show moving, mate. Let's keep it moving. Couple of other games happening. One is happening right now. The Carlton Football Club's beating Essendon by about 5 goals. Essendon cannot wait for the season to be over. But unfortunately, they got one more game, whereas Carlton are hanging up the boots, well, for this season at least tonight, after probably a reasonably comfortable win, you'd think.
Yeah, and Lucas says 2 goals from Frank the Tank, old mate
Francis,
Francis Evans. So
Francis,
he's killing it.
Francis Evans, we love you. Come back to Geelong. Well, no, we've moved on. But unfortunately, no. A couple of other games, though. Collingwood versus Melbourne. You'd think Collingwood wins this one. Agree?
Yeah. I think all losing streaks have to come to an end, and I think they'll dust themselves off and get the job done. Melbourne are checked out, given the turmoil they've had this year. So, I think Pies should bounce back.
I love bananas, and I love banana peel games, especially Port Adelaide versus Gold Coast. Port could do the funniest thing.
They could.
Gold Coast are playing finals, but Port could just do it for Kenny in his last game,
and for Travis Boak, his last game
true.
as well.
Yep.
And knowing Port Adelaide, they will do everything. You're going to get a sold-out crowd at the Adelaide Oval as well. No easy task.
Is
no
Connor
matter what
Rozee injured right now?
the occasion is. Oh, Connor Rosie's injured. I haven't seen the team used for that.
No, I don't know because I know he's due to play his 150th if he plays. I haven't seen whether he's been named or not, so someone in the chat will probably tell us. But yeah,
and what Horacio said as well. Gold Coast have never won at the Adelaide Oval, so that's certainly against them as well. So I'm tipping Port. I'm tipping Port for this one. I think they want to give a good show for Kenny Hinkley and for Travis Boak as well. What it has been quite a disappointing season for Port Adelaide as well, considering they made a prelim last year as well. But the amount of injuries left, right, and centre they had as well. But we'll see. They could do the funniest thing.
Drop your banana emojis in the chat. Big banana peel game for him, indeed. Broken hand. Yes, Connor Rozee had a broken hand a few weeks ago. Yep. So I think Gold Coast will defy history and get their first win at Adelaide Oval. But it's not going to be pretty. North Melbourne versus Adelaide. Surely Adelaide, even with the week they've had.
Surely Adelaide, but
unless
2017, I saw this. They played 2017 when the Crows played North.
Mm-hmm.
I think North Melbourne kicked like 6 goals, 5-0.
Yep.
And they handed their Crows the first loss of the season there as well. They could spill an upset, potentially. That could be a spanner in the works. And given what's going on with the Isaac Rankin situation as well, I think the Crows are good enough to win this game, but I won't be surprised if we see an upset with this one as well.
Yeah, I haven't heard if they've dropped a bunch of players, but who knows? Maybe they'll just rest a couple of guys, a few late outs, and just they can't really miss top 2 at this point, can they? So, what's the advantage of actually winning this game? It's almost a dead rubber for them. So they'll
get home final regardless whether they're first or second.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's nothing to be gained other than potentially getting a few more injuries and throwing around some homophobic slurs. There's absolutely nothing to be gained in this contest. So hopefully they just rest a few players, let Geelong finish top of the ladder, do the right thing.
Be nice.
And then maybe we can avoid Brisbane in the first week of the finals.
Hey, we play Collingwood, man. That'd be great.
Beat up on
Collingwood.
Collingwood.
I don't know if my heart could take another qualifying final like that as well. But we all love playing the Pies in the finals, don't we? So, but no, we'll see. But look, yeah,
yep.
There's just a kicker's 100 there as well.
Exactly. All right, so that one I think we'll say Adelaide, but North could do it if Adelaide decide that they're just not that interested. Richmond, Geelong, we're going Geelong. West Coast, Sydney, grand final opponents from a few years ago, a couple of years in a row. This could be a sneaky West Coast win if you need an upset in your footy tips. If you need one, I don't know. This could be one to go for. What do you reckon?
Yeah, you could be right. You could be right, Ben. Obviously, now the Sydney Swans have got nothing to play for as well. Are they going to be coming? Are they going to be checked out? few 50-50 games in this round, isn't it, Ben? Yeah, I could see West Coast fancying themselves
They shouldn't win, but
a
they
win as
could.
well.
They
But
could be that upset little.
yeah,
You never
yeah,
know. You never know. I don't know. All these. I mean, we're not going to tip 9 winners this week. I'm pretty sure we're not tipping 9 winners.
no, I
It comes
certainly
from
haven't.
somewhere. GWS St Kilda, another banana peel game. This one for GWS at home. Surely St Kilda, but then surely they can't win it. Or in saying that though, they've had the opposite week to Adelaide. They've signed the Messiah. What, $20 million a year, something like that. Anyway, no, they've given him a farm. I've given him another cotton on contract. They've given him everything. But it could be. This could be the one where the Saints are like, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves right now.
We are.
And the Giants are like, oh, shit, we can't lose this.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Chance? No chance? Confident?
No, I think the Giants. That's at the Giants Stadium, isn't it?
Yep. You're not going to risk it all for this one.
No way. There's no chance of St Kilda to play there as well. Just a bloody cows paddock. They somehow get a home final and we don't in Geelong, but that's another story, isn't it?
Good luck to your grandmother tomorrow, Gary. If your grandmother North will win.
All the best, Gary, mate.
Kerry says GWS in a nail biter. Very close. They'll
potentially.
The last 2 games of the round are the big ones, and I'm glad they've saved it to last. Win or go home. Western Bulldogs versus Fremantle. A farewell game for the dog. They're retiring the Bulldog. I don't know if you probably didn't see that where you are in Dubrovnik, but the Bulldog mascot is being retired. It's getting a little bit old. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's had its day, and it's time to sit in front of the fireplace and just rest.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. So anyway, loser is done for 2025, and the winner will go on. And if it's the Bulldogs that win, they'll probably get a home final if they win it because of their percentage. Fremantle, not so sure. Was shocking last week against Brisbane.
They just fucking shit the bed, Fremantle. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get out of them. Like, they're like a box of chocolates. One week they're good, the other they're just absolute shit. And I've got the Bulldogs for this one at Marvel Stadium. Fremantle, they're Perth merchants. But yeah, they folded like deck chairs against Brisbane on their own home ground as well. But who rates this side? Seriously,
I did. That's the problem.
you did.
I
you called us a middling side.
No, I called us a middling side, but we don't. That's another T-shirt. Roaming, can you get that T-shirt going for me, please? Geelong is a middling side. Anyway, no, I think I was big on Fremantle. Don't sleep on Freo. Don't sleep on Freo. But how quickly it changes. Look, everyone has a bad game. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it, but I don't trust them anymore. I feel like the Dogs are probably a top 4 team that just, for whatever reason, aren't in the top 4. I just don't. They've just lost games they shouldn't have lost. You just look at them and you think this team could beat anyone.
Exactly, and they've been. And this goes to the obviously the next game you're going to talk about anyway. Like the Gold Coast Essendon game. Stupid by the AFL. I know this has been talked about so many times, but why can't you organise it earlier in the season, man? You get say the Bulldogs miss out, right? I think they have every right to complain to the AFL, and if they want to demand a soft draw, I don't fucking blame them. Like it's bullshit.
Yep. Oh well. All right, Brisbane Hawthorn, last game. Let's talk about this one, and then we'll keep moving. Because we're going to talk about Jed Bews a bit more as well. Brisbane is interesting. They are if they bring it, I think they're the premiership favourites. If they can maintain their form, the problem is they throw in a stinker every 2 or 3 weeks for some reason. So when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're pretty bad. And Hawthorn making a late charge after a mid-season slump. I don't know who I'm going to pick on this one. This could ruin someone's footy tipping season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably to think the same with you, Ben. This is another tricky 50-50 one as well. But based on how
If
the
in doubt,
Brisbane Lions are going,
if in
uh,
doubt, don't
yeah,
pick Hawthorn because we hate them.
absolutely. Don't pick the scum. Don't pick the scum at all. But
Yep.
yeah, I think Brisbane, like, I don't think they had. But this goes back to like the goal kicking as well. Obviously, Hipwood's out. Lockie Neal's still out as well. I still
Yeah.
think they're good enough. I still think they're good enough to win this game. I just don't see. I haven't seen Hawthorn beat a top eight side this year. I could be wrong, but
Big
they
test.
might have beaten one or two. But I don't
They've
know.
got nothing. Well, they've got something to lose. They could technically still miss the finals, but if it's an away game for Hawthorn. No one is expecting them to win. Everyone's saying they're a good chance to win, but most people are going to pick Brisbane and play it safe. It'll be like 80% picking Brisbane, I can tell you right now.
Easily.
Maybe even more. But that's probably a good position for Hawthorn to be in, I'd say. So win that. There's a chance Hawthorn could make top four. I think a lot of things have got to go right for them for that to happen.
Everything has to fall in place for them.
Everything. But freaking Hawthorn, it'll probably happen too. Just like 2008, which we don't talk about on the post.
No
on
thanks.
The Paul game live. The Paul game
No
live.
thanks.
No, it's a bit of a mix of the two there. No, we don't talk about that. All right, let's keep the show going. Oh, a couple of milestones. Jane Zorko, 300 games. Charlie Cameron, 250. Shouldn't have played. That shouldn't have made it this year. He should have been dropped a long time ago. Love you, though, Charlie. Zach Merritt, 250 as well. 200 games to Harry Himmelberg, Tim Membry, and as we know, 150 games for Tommy Atkins and Connor Rosey, which I mentioned a bit earlier. 100 games for future cat Tom DeConning. Probably not. And Archie Perkins. Archie Perkins is playing his 100th game right now. There was talk about a VFL practice match, but I haven't had any confirmation. Chris Scott mentioned it in his presser last week. Maybe we'll get some more tidbits from him tomorrow when he does his presser. So keep an eye on the Cats website for that one. And in the AFLW, the Catters are playing over at Adelaide at Thomas Farms Oval. Where the hell is that? On Sunday.
Yeah.
What the hell is Thomas Farms? Is it Stanley Farms? Is it related? We like playing on farms.
No, it's the Sturt Football Club oval. So in Unley, it's southeastern suburbs. So
Unley Oval. There you go. Not the Stanley Oval. Injuries: Kate Darby, TBC, Jackie Parry, TBC, and Chloe Shear, indefinite. We've absolutely been decimated in the forward line and in the ruck. So
haven't we?
What can you say? Hopefully the girls somehow find a way to get a win, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. All right, let's get into the Jed Bews conversation. I did message Jed on Insta earlier tonight and said, we're going to show you some love, mate, on the show tonight. So chat, give us all your Jed Bews love in the chat. We want to hear it. I'll go through some of the dot points I've made. Do we call him Do you call him Bewsy? Is that your nickname for him?
I call him Bewsy, but also like Jedi, Return of the Jedi,
Jedwick. Yeah, a few things like that. Son of 282 gamer Andrew Bews, Jed and his dad actually. Well, Jed. Well, I'll start with Jed. Jed was a national pole vault junior champion, according to Wikipedia. I should preface that. And Dad was also a pole vaulter before he played for the Cats. So it's interesting. And there's actually a photo of Jed doing the pole vault on the interweb somewhere. So I had a bit of a look at that today. That's interesting. Anyway, how many players have been in athletics in their background? Have got that in their background. Jed, as I said, missed the first half of 2025 with a vegetable slicer injury. Somehow cut his hand in the sink. Don't put knives in the sink with bubbles in it. You gotta look at what you're doing. It's 101 of cleaning dishes. His original team was Leopold and then the Geelong Falcons in the TAC Cup or whatever it was called at that time. He was drafted in 2011 with pick 86, as some in the chat have said, the best pick 86 ever. Was that you that asked that question? And the father-son, yeah. So we got him with back in the day when you could use your lowest pick on when you had the father.
Yep.
Tommy, Gary Ablett Jr. at pick 40 or 50, and Tommy Hawkins with whatever he was as well. Matty Scarlett, we absolutely game the system.
And Brisbane are doing the same thing. Brisbane are doing the same thing as well. Yet they complain about us. Well, you're doing the same thing.
We're doing it all. When are we getting this next crop coming through? Come on, boys. Where are you, Jagamooni? Let's go.
Yes.
Wojcinski boys, hurry up. Boston Riccardi, I'm looking at you. Let's go. He made his debut in round 9, 2014, a couple of years after being drafted. So he's did his apprenticeship in the VFL. He's been, since that debut, he's been with the club for 12 seasons, 174 games, 20 finals. That surprised me when I saw that.
That's impressive.
And 16 goals. The last time he kicked a goal was round 6, 2022. Kiri, if our man Jed just burst from the back line and he's a chance at having a kick and a goal and he dobs it, the crowd is gonna go fucking insane. I'm telling you now, the crowd. I will be up and down on the couch in my living room watching this one. I'll run out the front. I'll run out into the street and do cartwheels in the middle of the street if he kicks a goal. I'll be that absolutely charged. You have no idea. Jed, if you're watching, please sneak forward at some stage and put one through the big sticks for us. That'll be awesome.
Oh, for sure. We're up by 50, 60 points midway through the third quarter. So, yeah, that'd be great. And I swear he kicked a goal like a lot later on. I didn't think 2020. I swear he kicked a goal sometime. Oh, wow. That long. Gee whiz.
Since Paul got him on his post-game live show not long after the grand final, win, and he hasn't played a lot since then. So I don't know if the club was unhappy or if it's just bad juju or something like that. But it hasn't played a lot of senior footy, unfortunately. 3 games this year. This will be his 4th. But hopefully he's got a couple more in the tank. And I don't think it's a farewell game for him, this one.
Nah.
I think there's a chance he'll play finals.
Yep.
Especially if Brisbane are there. I think if there's a meeting with Brisbane somewhere, I think that could be one where we find a spot for Jed. So his awards, not too many individual honours. Obviously the premiership in 2022. Career highs, disposals, 24. It's the lucky number this week, this round 24. 2 goals. Come on, Jed, you can equal that this week, mate. That'll be great. We're going to go nuts if you kick 1. If you kick 2, I don't know. I'll climb onto the top of the house naked or something. I'll do something stupid. 8 tackles in a game, 12 marks in a game. Now, Kiri, I'm going to ask you. This is not trivia. I'm going to frame it as trivia.
Sure.
How many players can you name that have worn the number 24 for the Cats?
Oh, shit.
You're going to struggle. Recent premiership player, not Jed Bews.
Wearing the number 24.
Yep. Hard done by in one of the premierships, according to his family. Very hard done by. Outraged they were that he didn't get picked, got dropped for another.
Yeah, shit. I'm trying to think. Mark Blake.
Yes.
And I didn't cheat on the chat.
Mark Blake, 99 games. They wouldn't give him 100. He got a premiership, but he didn't get his 100 games.
Yeah.
It gets pretty hard after that. Mark Boss played 194 games in the number. Jack Williams, 175 games with a couple of premierships. And Billy McCarter. I love that. It's a good name, Billy McCarter. 114 games. And Sid Tate, not many games, 84 games, but was lucky enough to play in a premiership and said, boys, that'll do me, and went off into the sunset after that. So that is Jed Bews. Any special memories of Jed or any comments you want to make about Jed? He's given me a lot of joy over the years, just watching him spin around, somehow find space when there's no space to be found, turns on a 5-cent piece, absolute star. And he just seems to be one of us. Like, he just seems to be a regular bloke you'd bump into on the street. He's not a Jezza. He's not a Bailey Smith. he's just that kind of guy that you think, oh yeah, I could easily just walk up and have a chat with him.
And just to add to that as well, Ben, absolutely, he seems like a great person to meet as well, to catch up for a beer and all of that. So he just seems absolutely relatable on the playing side. Mr. Reliable, down back. Yeah, it was just over the years he seemed like Mr. Undroppable as well. It's just kind of weird that first half of 2024, not seeing Jed Bews as well. Yeah, he got injured, and all of that, but yeah, he's the medium small forward specialist as well. Come September time, lockdown on Charlie Cameron, all those sort of players. I love Jed Bews, and I'll be very happy to see him go on for another year for another year as well. But
I hope he does.
yeah,
I hope he does.
absolute legend. I love Jed.
When I do the show notes, I don't list every single player that's played in the number. Usually what I try to do is everyone who's played at least 100 games gets a mention.
Yep.
Or if you've won a premiership or an individual honour like a Brownlow or something like that, you might have played 300 games somewhere else, but you've got to play. I'll give you playing 100 games for the Cats is a pretty big deal, or winning a premiership. So that's
100%. Yeah.
Hang on. Question from the Pivotonian. Have you had your teeth whitened? Have you had your teeth whitened? What's happening with the teeth?
Oh, I don't know, Darren. Maybe it's all the Slovakia and all the beers I've been drinking. That's probably working. So
enjoying it.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right, let's round out the show with some questions. I'm going to ask you some more questions. The Q&A topic.
Sure.
Chat, if you've got some other Q&A questions as well. Also, if you want to let me know what you think about me just opening this up to a special guest tonight, if that was a good thing for the Paul James Show, or whether you want to go back to the talking head of Paul every week, just talking about himself. We can do that as well. We'll go back to that. I'm sure Paul would prefer that one as well. All right, questions. But let us know if you've got any questions of your own. But I've got some. I've got about 5 here for you, Kiri.
Sure, mate.
I said I wasn't going to talk about this again, but I did put a question in here. Should Isaac Rankin's 4-match suspension have been longer or shorter?
Yes, I think so. Because you look at Jack Graham got 5 weeks, Finlayson got 5 weeks, and my conspiracy theory is because it's the eve of finals and because Isaac Rankin is a top 10 player in the competition. I've said this in the Twitter as well. He should absolutely get copped the suspension fully, miss out the final series. And this is the other thing. Why does the AFL and the MRO need to drag it out for so long? Why did it have to drag out for 4 days? Look, investigate it and make your final decision on a Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Don't drag it out for another day. That was just absolute bullshit, Ben.
Yep.
And I don't want to go too further into this and cause a havoc in the chat as well. But I think it should have been 5 in my opinion. I mean, look, because what if the Crows lose first week? They go all the way and play a grand final. He's available for selection.
Well, if that happens, they're not going super well, and he hasn't played a game in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, if you count the pre-finals bye. Yeah, it's, I don't know, the AFL, probably all I'd say on it, it's just the AFL. It hasn't looked good. How long it's taken, they've allowed him to potentially play a grand final when the precedent was set. It's a whole nother conversation.
What's this drama? It's a waste of time. We know what he did.
It didn't need to happen. It just looked like they were indecisive. They didn't have the courage just to stick, just to make the call. Now, there's a whole different conversation about whether you think it should have been 5 weeks in the first place. I'm happy to have that debate through the off season potentially, but and I think that's probably the way the AFL will go. They'll probably just say in future, okay, it's going to be 2 weeks from now on, or whatever the penalty is. There's no, mental health reasons or this and that. I'm sick of the mental health card being used just indiscriminately. But it does seem to be applied for this particular ruling. because
He's
there's
the
a
line.
grand final on the line, and now he's got a chance of playing in it if the Crows, which I'm sure they're not motivated to lose first week, but if they do, he's not going to be too unhappy about it, you'd think. All right, next question. Is Fremantle's season a failure if they miss finals? Because everyone hyped them up at the start of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is the funny thing, Ben. Like, they could go 15. I don't know if they're on 15 wins now. You go 15 wins and miss out the finals. But I think where their expectations were in the preseason, absolutely they should make the top 8. And Justin Lombier was under fire at the moment. And I don't know. I just don't rate their midfield at the moment. Andy Brayshaw's gone backwards. Caleb Saron's gone backwards. And they just haven't had a proper forward since Matthew Pavlich as well. And I think this could be one of the greatest waste of talents in AFL.
Yep. But they could just as easily win it. And if they make finals, you never know because they have won a lot of footy in the last few weeks. So we'll see. But the doggies are the doggies for me in this one. I think the doggies will win this game on Sunday afternoon. And I don't think it's a failure year, but it's a bit of a waste. Failure is a bit too strong a word, but it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Really,
it's a waste, a missed opportunity. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Bit of a silly one here. Is St Kilda officially now a destination club? Everyone's going to want to go and play with Naz, aren't they?
Well, if you want the money, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Well,
show me the money.
Is there any left? Is there any left?
Oh, they're having a go at us with their cotton on. Have they got cotton on? What is their third party? What's one of their sponsors? Their Ice Coffee, whatever it is.
You know what? That is a perfect segue to my next question. Should the St Kilda Football Club, the STKFC, the St Kilda Football Club, I nearly couldn't get that out. Should they be sponsored by KFC, St Kilda Football Club? Isn't that a perfect opportunity? I saw it. Someone shared it with me. I think my partners might have shared it with me on a social post. Surely there's an opportunity there. Come on. KFC sponsorship for the St Kilda Football Club.
I think Red Rooster's sponsoring them. I think, Ben. I think it's on their shorts, the Red Rooster logo.
The shit. All right, well, that's not going to happen then, unless they tell Red Rooster F off. Isn't just Red Rooster a money laundering company these days? Anyway, does anyone actually shop at Red Rooster? Please let us know.
In Australia, bloody hell.
There's one in Geelong. At Headstock Park. They don't seem to do any business after a Cats win, though. Unless you've had about 10 beers and you don't even know where you are. You've had somehow.
Off topic, their crispy fried chicken is actually not too bad. So I've tried it. Pretty good. It doesn't beat the Curdle, though. The Curdle's the GOAT.
All right, last question for you. I don't know what you don't have to tell me this, but Tom Atkins is a parent to a young child, and we know what Tom's like on a footy field. He takes no crap. He gets that fire in his eye, Kiri, and you don't want to get in his way. What do you reckon he's like as a parent? Do you reckon he's a pushover? Do you reckon he takes a very different approach in the family home, or is it like when Tom says no, you've been told, or is it like I can't say no? Does he just melt when the little one just runs up to him or does something a little bit naughty, or is he a firm dad? What do you reckon?
I'm gonna say the opposite. I think he's an absolute softie. I think
personality
wise. I mean, look, he's a very reserved person, down to earth. I was actually going to watch his interview on YouTube. So he just generally sounds like a great guy, just like Jed Bews. Great person to catch up for a beer or a coffee with. I think he's just chill and laid back, and he lets his football do the talking. So
magnificent chicken, Red Rooster. We'll take next up, Darren. Get on down there. I know you walk around Geelong all the time. Get on down to
promote
do an
your
interview.
businesses, Darren.
Do an interview with the staff at Red Rooster, and we'll post it on the show. There's a little challenge for you, Darren, between now and next week. Get on down. If it's still there, it should be. There's 2 of them in Geelong. I can't believe there's 2 of them in Geelong. Maybe maybe there's more than 2. All right, mate. That is it for the official stuff on the show tonight. I appreciate you coming on. It's been fun having a chat. Paul, we'll have to give Paul his credit. It is a hard gig to do all on your own, and he does a very good job of it, managing the chat and all the graphics and all the me giving him shit on the side as well, dealing with all that. So he does a good job, but he can be back in the big chair on Monday, back in the big chair again, taking over the show, and I'll be back in the chat after I've finished watching Seinfeld, and I'll be giving him crap again like I normally do. But no, thank you to you, mate, for coming on. You've made it quite enjoyable. Thanks to everyone in the chat as well. Much love. Hopefully we'll see you after. Well, depending if the timing works, mate. Hopefully we'll see you on Post Game Live on Saturday evening if we can make it work for you.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's worked. It's worked the last few weeks as well. So
I don't think you've missed one.
I don't think.
Maybe one.
Maybe one. I can't remember. But
you've done well. Like the commitment you've shown. Commitment.
Man, you know, it's I just love my football, man. Like, but it works out really well. Because I thought I'd come over here. Crap, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 in the morning, like what Ethan does in the States. But the time zones in Europe is really good. Here in Croatia, it's about 7.5 hour, 8 hour sort of difference. So
that's good.
And nice. So going back to Greece tomorrow, going to Athens for a couple of nights, and then before we catch a flight back to Adelaide. So
beautiful, just in time for a preliminary. Well, no, we don't want to play Adelaide over there, but if it turns out that we do, I'm sure you'll get along to that one.
And I'll be there. Lucas will be there. I'm sure Gary will be there as well.
Somehow if we can make it happen,
you got to come.
We'll try to get there, but if we can get you to a final in Victoria as well, I know you've had a big holiday and you've probably got to get back to work at some point.
I don't know if my work will let me go for one day, Friday before the grand final. We'll see.
It's a Victorian public holiday. What do you guys get a public holiday on the Friday before the grand?
We don't.
Oh well, you get probably the Adelaide show day or something like that.
I mean, well, if Crows make the grand final, maybe they might let me off. So maybe I do want the Crows to make the grand final. Who knows? Because
I think I think Lucas is going to ask for a place to stay if Geelong and Adelaide are in the grand final. You're going to have to maybe see if there's room for Lucas to come and visit for a little bit.
He could go in the man cave. That's about it. Our house is really, really small.
Beautiful. Share a bed. I was going to share a bed with the Pivotonian in Sydney, but we couldn't quite make it happen. Couldn't quite make it happen. All right, mate. I'll let you go. Appreciate it. Love you as always. And go Cats.
Thanks, Ben. See you, mate.
Take care. All right. Thank you to Kiri for that. Now, what I haven't done, and I'll save this little bit. I'm going to just do a quick sponsor shout out, but then I'll get back and I just want to share a couple of deets of things that are happening with the Hoops Crew over the next few weeks. But quick shout out from Cyril Cook.
The Hoops Crew Media Network is proudly sponsored by Cyril Cook Florist. Visit them at shop 1211 Leather Street in Breakwater. Phone them on 035 222 2244 or visit their website at www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au and use the offer code GOCATS in the voucher field at checkout to get 20% off your next online purchase.
Thank you to Cyril Cook Florist. Don't forget the promo code GOCATS to get your discount online. All right, just finishing off the show tonight. And again, thanks to everyone who's tuned in, put up with me in Paul's absence for one night. He'll be back, don't worry. This is not a regular thing. But thank you to everyone for that. A couple of things that are happening in the next few weeks. Obviously, this week coming up, we've got the normal programming. We've got Post Game Live from 7 p.m. So basically straight after the final siren on Saturday, I'll be kicking on with Post Game Live there. I've got to finish that by about 9 o'clock because I got to pick my daughter up from work. So we'll keep that going. We'll go for at least 2 hours anyway. And then Paul will have his reaction video the day after on Sunday, followed by Nuff of the Week, probably on Monday or Tuesday or something like that. And then the self-titled Paul James show will be back again on Monday to do a full wrap-up of the game on the weekend. And then we finish the week off with the Chaps Chat Cats, who are back into full AFLW mode as well. So, and we'll probably touch on a bit on the VFL and their thoughts on some of the players, I'm assuming, as well, heading into the end of the season into next year. So that'll be good. And that Jake's VFL coverage this year has been absolutely fantastic. I hope a few of you have checked that out. A couple of videos that he's put together as well. That's just the effort that he puts in for that. I think he's due for a break. He needs a bit of a. It's been a long year, but Jake, we appreciate the time and love your show, and we love all the Geelong players, regardless of whether they play a game for the club. But we just love the time and energy you put in and the research you do on that. So much appreciate. All right, but over the next couple of weeks, we've got some sort of specials, I guess. We might sort of merge them with Paul's show on Mondays and Thursdays to some degree. We've got the Brownlow watch along. So that'll be a Paul James show. That's on Monday, the 22nd of September. It'll be a bit of a watch along slash bit of a recap of the prelims as well. Hopefully a positive recap, but mostly a Brownlow watch along. I'll be a part of that, I think, as well. So I'll jump in there, especially if it goes a little bit later and Paul needs to chop out for a little bit. I'm happy to step in there. But we'll see if Paul might be open to the idea of bringing some guests on the show as well. So we'll see how we go with that one. So it'll at least be Paul and me, potentially some others as well. The Hoopies night is probably more of a hoops special. It's on a Monday night, but we might give the Paul James show a rest. That's the Monday after the grand final. There'll be plenty of footy content coming your way if Geelong wins the grand final. You probably won't want to know about Geelong Football Club if we lose, but we'll still put content out anyway. But that'll be Hoopies night. That is our awards night for the Cats, our best and fairest, and some other silly awards. We do that. We did that last year. That'll be the 29th, Monday, the 29th of September. The Cargie Greaves watch along is the Thursday of that week as well, on the 2nd of October. So that's another Paul James show. So again, similar to the Brownlow, we might try and do a bit of a watch along sort of slash. There's nothing to preview other than the AFLW, which we can talk about as well. But a bit of a Cargie watch along for that one. We did that last year, and that did some good numbers. And I know Paul enjoyed the chat with the fans through the night with the link that somehow we got access to. And then Trade Week and Draft Night, some big shows historically as well for the Hoops Crew channel. So stay around and check out that one. All right, everyone, that's been about an hour and 20 minutes. That's about what Paul does, isn't it? It's pretty normal. Thanks to everyone in the chat. As always, you're all awesome. Go Cats.